Hi, I'm Tricia, an organic gardener. I grow organically for a healthy and safe food supply, for a clean and sustainable environment, for an enjoyable and rewarding experience. Aquaculture is the process of raising edible fish. A fishing pond can be a great supplement to the food that you grow in your garden, as well as an attractive habitat for wildlife. A pond is much easier to manage if it's properly constructed. Contact your local ag extension or master gardeners for resources and permits. The smallest pond that is easy to manage for fishing is about an acre. 1 acre of unfertilized pond can support the harvest of 40 pounds of bluegill and 10 pounds of largemouth bass per year. Pond size is determined by the watershed, which is the area that drains into the pond. You need to know the size of the watershed to gauge the size you can build your pond to. It's best to consult a professional. A pond designed for fish should be on average 6 to 8 feet and no deeper than 10 to 12 feet. The pond should be a minimum of 3 feet deep at the waterline. This helps prevent nuisance plant growth. There's only a few species that are suitable for your backyard fishing pond. A good combination is bluegill and largemouth bass. Discussions on stocking ponds are beyond the scope of this video, so we'll focus on how to maintain a good fish habitat in your pond. The best habitat for fish is water that has no pollutants and it has a high amount of dissolved oxygen as well as low organic matter and silt. One of the biggest causes of pollutants in your pond is livestock having access to the pond, especially cattle. A secondary problem can be pesticide runoff, and you need to be sure you know what kind of land is in your watershed. If you have pollutants in the watershed, plant vegetation along the borders, and that helps create a barrier against pesticide runoff and possible livestock runoff. The next important requirement for your habitat is dissolved oxygen, and the main sources for that are plants and algae. You need plants and algae, but if they cover more than 30% of the pond surface, that's too much of a good thing, and the decaying plant matter from all that vegetation sucks oxygen from the pond. Maintaining the proper depths will really help, but if that isn't enough to control your weeds, you can add this natural blue dye. This blue dye won't hurt the fish. It acts like an aquatic mulch. The blue dye denies plants light to reduce their growth. Keep in mind that if you reduce water clarity, too much sight hunters like bluegill and bass may not be able to eat very well. You can also use barley straw to help clean up the pond. Don't overdo it though, because too much decomposing barley straw will take up oxygen out of the water. Barley bales like this should be anchored to a rock with a float such as a gallon jug with a pint of water. Digging your pond too deep can also cause oxygen problems. If you have a deep pond, consider putting a drain at the bottom of the pond instead of the top. Also consider putting in some kind of pump to increase aeration. Another big culprit of oxygen depletion is too much organic matter or silt. By adding this pure bacteria plus muck reducer, you'll add microbes into the water, which help break down the organic matter faster. It's a good idea to provide some shade around your pond. This will help regulate water temperature. Your fish will also benefit from a fish attraction. This can be a stump or a pile of rocks or some other hiding area. Place your fish attraction at least 2 feet deep and within casting distance from the shoreline. And make sure you have about 1 attraction per acre. So, catch your own fish and grow organic for life.